Deion Sanders in Colorado making a little bit of noise at Big 12 Media Days. Not so much with what they were saying. We'll get to that in a second. But he decided to bring not one, but two quarterbacks to Big 12 Media Days. Both Caden Salter and Julian Lewis were attendees, representatives, I should say, for Colorado at Big 12 Media Days. So what does it mean for Colorado? What did Deion Sanders have to say about it? We'll unpack that right now. Before we do that, though, Colorado fans, make sure you are subscribed. Week 1 right around the corner. Friday night, Georgia Tech rolling into Boulder. Going to be a good game. We'll have our official prediction for you on that game when it's game week. But if you want college football content, Colorado content, make sure you're locked in right here. The best way to be locked in is by being subscribed. So when Deion Sanders was asked about why he brought Caden Salter and Julian Lewis being a true freshman, which is, for those of y'all that follow college football in general, like usually freshmen don't get to speak throughout the entirety of a season at a lot of places. Deion Sanders is like, no, media days, we want Julian Lewis, our true freshman quarterback, to be there at the mic. So that says a lot. But Deion Sanders said, we brought both because we don't know who's going to start. It could be either one of those guys. So, I mean, that's one part of this. But I think when you try to read between the lines of bringing both quarterbacks to media days and what Deion Sanders had to say, there's a lot of layers to it. Like, I think your first thought is, well, hey, if we're bringing a true freshman quarterback to media days, what does that say about our veteran transfer quarterback we got from Liberty and Caden Salter? Like, is he not taking over that job? Is he not as advertised? Is he not doing the things that he did at Liberty, and that's not translating to Colorado's offense from the spring? And I hear that thought, and I think I also feel a little bit of that way as well if I'm a Colorado fan. But I also think it'd be irresponsible to just ignore the fact that Julian Lewis has probably shown up on campus, and if he's at media days, he's done enough to warrant like legitimate trust from Deion Sanders, both as a person representing Colorado and as a player on the football field, to the point where it's like, yeah, it could be Julian, it could be Caden. We don't know. We don't know who it's going to be. And I also want to make sure we mention this. If Julian Lewis is your guy at quarterback for Colorado, it's not a situation where you're sheltering him. Like Colorado, the offense in itself, they threw it 60% of the time last year. They are going to spin the rock. Your quarterback's not going to be a handoff merchant. Like, you're going to ask a lot of your starting quarterback, whether it's Salter or whether it's Juju. So I think the trust factor from Deion Sanders, and a lot of people have spoken to this, Julian Lewis being one of them, I think the trust factor as to what this says, as from Deion Sanders to how he feels about Julian Lewis, I don't think we should overlook that, because I think it speaks volumes. I also can't help but feel like this is a tremendous chess move from Deion Sanders with what it says about Colorado to potential recruits. This is not me saying this is disingenuous by Deion Sanders bringing Julian Lewis, not at all. But if you're a high-profile recruit, what is the message you're receiving from Deion Sanders bringing Julian Lewis and Jordan Seaton, a true sophomore at Colorado, to Big 12 Media Days? It says, if you come here as a high-profile guy and you earn it, you don't have to wait to be front and center for us. Like, we're going to make sure that everything we talk about when we recruit you of come here and, be in the spotlight and all these things, those are all attainable as soon as you step foot on campus. You don't got to wait till you're a junior, a senior, and wait a couple of years. Like, no, you can be front and center right now at Colorado. And, I mean, if Julian Lewis goes out and performs well and he does win the job and has a good season at Colorado, think about, just the way that would supercharge that pitch. Because then you start to look at these high-profile gets that Deion Sanders has gotten over the course of his career coaching college football, from Travis Hunter to Jordan Seaton to Julian Lewis. I think if I'm a high-profile recruit, not only am I going to be front and center from the jump if I earn it, but also, you probably feel a lot less anxiety around, Colorado and, Deion Sanders has been coaching college football that long and all this. Like, you're not saying that, because you're saying, okay, look at this track record of guys that had a lot to gain, a lot to lose in their career based on their talent level. They went to Colorado, had success. Jordan Seaton last year, started as a true freshman, played well, awesome. Travis Hunter could have gone a lot of places. It was well documented. Chose Jackson State, then chose Colorado again when Deion Sanders went over there. Won the Heisman Trophy, first-round pick. Like, there's a lot, I think, of credibility that is continuing to build behind Deion Sanders in the way that he is putting guys in position to eventually have success. And if Julian Lewis checks that box as a true freshman at quarterback for Colorado, I think that in itself would be just a tremendous momentum boost to what they're already doing out there in Boulder with the departure of a Shedeur and a Travis Hunter and all that. Like, this would, I think, give you a lot of excitement for the future and would make that sales pitch from a Deion Sanders even more enticing. Now, if you're a Colorado fan and Julian Lewis pops as a true freshman and wins the job. I don't want to wade into the discussion too deeply of, well, how long is Deion Sanders going to be at Colorado and this, that, as I don't think that's productive at this point in time. But I do think, just purely from a fan's perspective, if you were worried around Deion Sanders eyeing other jobs, if Julian Lewis pops off as a true freshman and wins the job and all those things, I think you feel a lot more security in saying, well, why would you leave? You got a true freshman who's awesome. Why would you go take another job? You recruited this guy. I think that also matters to Deion Sanders. I think the personal level matters to him. Why would you even, entertain anything else outside of what you've got now in a pretty good position to have future success at Colorado? So it speaks volumes, again, to the trust, to the confidence, and quite frankly to what Julian Lewis is doing, obviously, during spring practice. And it makes fall camp for us here on this side of things, tracking what's going on in Boulder, very enticing. So, again, keep it locked right here. If you're in the comments section, you're a Colorado fan, let me know who you're picking to win the job for Colorado. Julian Lewis or Caden Salter? Caden Smith on the 1s and 2s, myself, Jody PicKell. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.